No, it's considered a good sleep. Cool. Yeah, no, if you look over here at fatigue, I got basically a full night's sleep. If it was a bad quality sleep, this fatigue bar would bounce up to about this high-ish, so about a third of the way back up towards being drowsy. It basically seemed like it's a good night's sleep. And I basically just rode back far enough that our paths that we've been taking for months and months to clear, we've been over there so we shouldn't see zombies. Versus over here, well, we didn't see many. How'd you go without being seen at all? Welcome back, Colo. And immediately dropping those push-ups in when you return. Let me go ahead and knock out those push-ups. I'll be right back. Okay, it looks like we have just one more round of push-ups left for the stream. People have been pretty on point with the push-ups today, considering we're only, what, just coming up on 5 hours, and we've already had 9 redemptions for the 4 push-ups. Which I do limit the redemptions to 100 push-ups per stream, so we're at 90. You got the idea. You did pass every one of your tests, Cole? Awesome. Good to hear. I know you were sweating bullets with some of it. I'm glad it all worked out for you. My mother was the same way whenever she went to go in for a test, that she would stress out like nothing else the day before the test. And then she'd get like an A or a B. And she'd get super salty if she got like a B. Sentient Cookie says, I passed gas. Does that count? So long as the test was on passing gas? Sure. I never asked what the subject matter of the tests were. Alright, so I need to figure out, because we're starting to just overheat regularly, so I'm going to have to lose some clothes. Probably this varsity jacket. I changed my mind. I'm going to put it back on. I'm going to wait till we actually start seeing penalties. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait till we see penalties first. Yeah, we will lose protection no matter what garments I gave up, because I had like 1 or 2 layers that I had protection or no protection on, like the mask and everything. I've already ditched that. But yeah. Now we're down to anything else I take will cost me some level of protection. So I think I'm going to continue wearing them until we start getting to the point where I can actually push myself into being so overheated we take a movement penalty. Like an attack speed, sorry, penalty. Once we hit that, then I'm going to start ditching clothes properly. Ooh, that was close. Nimble saving the day again where we barely stepped out of range. And that's because I'm being overly aggressive in how I'm attacking. I could just keep backpedaling and being fine by trying to keep them off the middle of the road. And those are the kinds of deaths that just would be super upsetting. Because those are deaths you did to yourself kind of thing. Let's see. No, I was so stressed that and on test, teacher just sat down and did not even stand up to see who was chatting. Cole said, for that celebration, I brought drawn for myself. I bought drawn for myself yesterday, and he came today. I'm clearly missing that word, my apologies. He came today, so me and my dad had a blast with that, and I even scared some cows. Gotcha. Yeah, Rockbeard says this fog isn't helping either. You're correct. And Dwayne the John Roxon said, like my last death, set off a car alarm in my base, then tried time to save the walls from zombies instead of taking my time. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I thought I saw one down here. Nope. That's exactly what it is. Like, okay, if I just took my time and played it safe, no problem. So swings like that I need to be very careful about. Because I don't know if I've got myself caught with a garden hoe. I know I've got myself caught with a shovel that way where I whiffed a swing sidestepping to hit a zombie and just missed and then was just in range as I was like, alright. If Snacks just wants to hand itself to me, sure. I like my meals on wheels. Hey, Pankraru. Yep, we are at 37,500 zombies. And going strong. Getting real close to having Riverside wrapped up. We cleared the south neighborhoods. So that's the reason I'm going this way, is I want to go straight into the south neighborhoods as opposed to going the long way around. Yeah, it used to be able to do wee-woos. And then we did a bunch of wee-woos, and only to learn that wee-woos wear out in this game, and you cannot currently repair wee-woos without mods. So, like, I can't turn on the sirens or the lights. They're non-functional anymore. Apparently, you need a mod to be able to fix it. It's like, oh, but that would be, like, a mod that just legitimately changes gameplay. Even if we, like, all universally agree that it's like, yeah, you should be allowed to repair those. Like, compared to all the things in the game, being able to repair sirens is a pretty minor one. I'm also disappointed just how little time it took for them to break. We did one drive home, and then like we drove a little ways in downtown, fought some zombies, drove a little ways in downtown, fought some zombies, that kind of thing, and they were just completely spent. Right, that's like, I'm okay if like repairing them requires me to take parts from another one. Sure, I get it. Like make it a thing like that, but the fact that you can't right now. Which apparently there was even like things saying, yes, we need to add this. It's just not been done. Yep, I believe right over here is where we're going to start seeing where we've seen before. I do expect we'll probably run into a couple of hordes along this way. Because this is at the point we're really close to Riverside. I did pivot one of the lights, but it shouldn't be that significant. And for people who didn't see, yesterday they did drop a Thursdoid that went over that they're going to basically be bringing in like animal husbandry and that kind of stuff in the next major update. So to be clear, major update, so we're not talking a week or two from now, we're probably talking 3-6 months from now, if not longer. But there'll be that. They're going to do a massive overhauling of the crafting, so that you'll have potentially stuff like you'll be able to leather work some stuff together, then put metal plates on the leather worked armor, that kind of thing. They're going to have a whole bunch of new professions, and then one of the ideas are they're going to have a challenge map that'll be like years later. So we don't know the exact map, but like 5-10 years after the zombie apocalypse started. And they're going to make it so professions have a initial and expiration time, so you know, you'll have certain professions that'll be available immediately after the zombie apocalypse started, like burger flipper and that. But when you get to that, like 5-10 years later one, then it won't be available because, let's be real, 10 years after the zombie apocalypse, you're probably not going to define yourself as a burger flipper anymore if you haven't flipped a burger in 10 years. Yeah, it's got gas, but everything's batteries are going to be dead at this point because we've already gone all the way through winter. Probably shouldn't need that ever, but we'll grab it anyways. Alright, let's tow these off the road. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited because it was, it's been a back and forth thing that they're like, alright, we're going to do hunting and animal husbandry. No, wait, we're going to do NPCs. No, wait, never mind, we're going to go back to animal husbandry. It came down to they wanted to have the artificial intelligence for the animals, which would come with the NPCs, but then they realized they wanted to have the crafting thing, and the crafting thing just couldn't realistically happen without leather, which means you'd have to have the animal husbandry thing, and like they were more concerned about actually having that in the updates. So like, okay, so we're back to animals. But one of the other things they said is they wanted to make it so you could basically just walk out into the woods, like very first thing in the game, just never step foot in a building, walk out into the woods, and be able to build like big nice bases and all that from just doing that kind of thing. And so with some of that, they were talking about making it so you could build or make or whatever, not necessarily everything, but equivalent, so like we'd have an alternative to the generator type deal. And they said when that happens, they'll also make it so that gas would go bad after some period of time. They said years is like what they said, so I'm assuming it'd be just the challenge map, or if you played the game for a very long time. And that stuff like generators you couldn't repair forever, that as you repaired them that have diminishing returns, just like repairing weapons does. You know, and then the assumption then is you'd have some way to make a gas alternative and some way to either make generators or make a generator alternative or something. So that's all pretty exciting. And I think that's an improvement on the game personally for me. Because, like, okay, I get my generator up, I get my magazines done, like, I'm secured, I have gas pumps, I can live for years and years and years and years before I have to worry about anything forcing me to leave my home if I so chose. Okay, the game becomes way less interesting because now I'm just leaving the house for reckless reasons. Or I make some arbitrary goal, which is how you have to play most of these sandboxes. You know, versus, okay, if your generator's going to wear out eventually, it does actually encourage you to just go, I don't really need a generator now, but I'm just going to get another one, and another one, and another one, because someday I'm going to need it. So you never have a reason to not go out. It's like, okay, I could not go out for a while, but sooner or later I know I'm going to need to get these supplies. I might as well get these supplies. Which means you're going to do stuff that's dangerous and get yourself killed. Darstar says, am I seeing your weapon correctly? I think that's a Bekti Corbin? I mean, the game calls it a garden hoe. To me, it looks like not a pickaxe. There's a type of pick that has like a hoe end on it, or whatever. So like a Moloch pick, that's really long. I believe it's Moloch pick, is how you pronounce it. Whereas like one side is a big fat area for digging trenches, and the other side does come to a spike when you hit like a rock or something you need to pry out. Yep, and Burn says, and then you go out and you get yourself killed, and then you no longer need those supplies. And I Can't Kill It says, or you might try to do stuff like, you know, conserve your generators for winter. Oh yeah, and again, all of that adds risk, because then you can go into winter and go, oh, I didn't set enough food aside to be frozen for winter, like, I didn't turn on too early. Gotcha. We're probably talking about, so I will say I believe it's a Moloch pick or whatever it is that I'm talking about, the handle isn't nearly this long. Like, it's got a very similar head to it, but the handle would be maybe a half to 3/4 of the length of that. So it could be that that's the difference, is just the handle length. Because I have one of those that I use for doing a lot of stuff for gardening around the house when I was like first setting up some of the irrigation. I would take the Moloch pick to dig trenches and all that. Because the place where I am, they build up the ground using clay. I'm just gonna leave that on the ground. Oh, you got bourbon for me. Thank you kindly. Ah, medieval weapon? Yeah, no, this is clearly a tool of some kind. Like, so far as what it's intended on being, this is intended on being some type of gardening tool. Like, well, I should say farming tool, not gardening tool. Oh yeah. Well, and it was interesting that their patch notes, they were talking about bringing the tech that you could make yourself in the game to be along with like medieval times. And you know, the examples they gave was like leatherworking, stuff like that. But then they're talking about like a modern twist, since you know we have modern stuff. So they're talking about, okay, so you make leather armor, and then, you know, take some, you know, metal and bind it to the metal or the leather armor. So I'm assuming it could be just like frying pans or something, who knows. Because this tire's in perfect shape, I do want to keep it. It's not for this car, it's for a car like this, but free tire is a free tire. I can chuck it in with the rest of my tires back at the home base. Cool. Well, it did take us quite a bit longer than we had originally anticipated to push into this route. It's not bad, because we're right about to reach where we have already cleared. And that'll be good to just keep on pushing. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things go. Sorry about that. Came out of nowhere. There were 4 of you. I distinctly saw 4 of you. Well, I'm just going to pretend I didn't see 4 of you. There you are. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I also think that is another one of those things that makes me curious. Like, okay, well, if I'm going to be doing all this metalworking, you know, am I going to be able to source metal in other ways? Like, I don't necessarily want the game to start having mining and everything in it. Like, I'm back here smashing skulls and all. They're like, nah, it's cool. Don't worry about it, friends. I can't kill him. I said a lot of easy to access metals. Oh, we already have in mind. Realistically, so most of it be scrapping stuff down. Yeah, like that would be more aligned of what I would expect for this game in the future. Just like, okay, look, you know, you got all these pans and pots and hammers and screwdrivers, and like if it's screwdrivers, for example, that you can melt down and use for other materials, like that would work for me because like, all right. Those are quote-unquote renewable because you can keep killing zombies and keep finding them. I don't know where all these yawns are coming from, but they need to stop because I'm not feeling sleepy or anything. Alright, this is where we've already cleared. So I am going to loop back because we only did 1 pass here, so there's a good chance I'll find a couple hordes in here. I'm already seeing at least 3 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them. I'm just going to go up the road here and we will deal with... No, we didn't clear this road. We cleared the road up there. We didn't clear this in a long time. Alright. Let's keep driving up this way till we stop seeing hordes. And then we'll loop back and kill these. Because I've already committed to driving too far past them that if I just try and jump out in the middle, we'll be in the middle of this nonsense. Alright, I think this will do. Not gonna worry about keeping them off the road with as many as we're gonna be dealing with. Just take what opportunities they give me. Alright, that's the first group. See the hunting knife. I'm not that worried if I miss it. Okay, let's see. People talking about what time it is in their relative places. That's fine. I can't kill anyone says on my playthrough I'm almost done looting all the stuff I want from Riverside and using all the ammo here, so I think I'm finally going to move my next city, probably Ekron. Yep, and I've made it a comment a number of times that, in my personal opinion, Ekron is like the best city to get yourself off the ground on. You just... Oh, let me see. Let's see. A brigantine is a bunch of metal plates riveted to cloth in there. Yeah, it's probably something like that. Would be exactly my guess of what the leatherworking and metaling and all that would do. But yeah. Because that's what it sounded like. It sounded like you'd do like leatherworking for one thing. You could then attach like metal to it as another skill. And then you could also add like padding using... I thought that one was dead. Padding using like tailoring for reasons. I don't know if it'd make it more defensive or it'd give it more insulation. Or, you know, maybe remove like a run speed penalty or something. But that does sound like they're going to start really leaning into kind of, you know, mixing stuff where to get certain good equipment you have to have multiple skills just to make it. Bear with me, zombies. I want to go ahead and just walk over here and grab another one of the weapons out of the back of the truck. You know, I do have nightsticks. Oh, I have a lead pipe. But still, we're near the truck. I'll just grab another. But as you can see from Riverside, we have driven through pretty much all of it except for like this one set of neighborhoods over here, the ones that are like behind all the big wrought iron fences. So we're down to clearing those out and then just honking our horn and driving around and seeing what shakes out. We've been killing zombies like every zombie we see in town. Yep. I did see there was a whole discussion going on Reddit where someone was making the comments like, you know, the most armor you'd ever need in the zombie apocalypse would be a pair of jeans because, you know, just try and chew denim. Good luck ever getting through it. And there's a whole bunch of people like, you do understand, like, it's not rigid, so a zombie could bite through, and even if it's not technically piercing the jeans, it's still messing you up, and jeans do allow fluids to get through, so you'd still get bit. Like, it's not armor, it's just, it's tough. Oh yeah. Like that was there's the paper armor out there that's like actually really tough stuff. Like in a lot of ways better than a lot of like ceramic armors. It's just it has drawbacks. Like you see like the paper armor out there going, "Oh, this like, you know, can stop bullets and everything." Okay. Like, don't get me wrong, it's got drawbacks. Like, you talk about armor where it gets really hot when you're wearing it and all that. That paper armor is, like, super insulating. But hey, maybe if it's cold, you want it super insulating. Yeah, people also joked about, it's like, yeah, I should be able to, like, wear a pair of denim pants and then, you know, stitch a phone book onto my leg. Akantemore says, feels weird since the game has always had this feeling of, oh, IRL, you can do this, but we're going to bottleneck it through X or Y. Like, how are we... You could have metalworking to make weapons, but for now we can get pipes from disassembling stuff, or how you could have a homemade nails, but for now we can only find them. Yeah, and it is one of the things that comes up in the chat quite often. It sounds like, you know, here's my character. I can carry a total of 15 kilograms. And people are going, what? Like, 15 kilograms is a very small amount for a person to be able to lift as like their max weight before they're getting like severely overburdened. Like, it's really not much weight. It's like, yeah, but game balance stuff. And then like a lot of choices they make around food are very much in balance, where you're like, no, that doesn't even remotely align with the way that food actually is. Like, I still will always bring up the fact that rice in this game does almost nothing for hunger. And you're like, you don't know. If you eat a kilogram of rice, you're basically like food coma levels of amount of rice you've eaten. Just let that bad boy settle a little bit, and it's nappy nap time. I think in this game, like, a kilogram of rice is something like 5 hunger or maybe 10 hunger tops. Like, the rice one gets me because to me it's like that doesn't feel like a balanced decision so much as just an arbitrary decision. Now granted, I don't know. Maybe they have some metric they do for figuring all that stuff out and they're like, yeah, this makes sense. You'll also notice I was taking the time to pick up like every shotgun and take the shells out and all that. I'm like, well, I'd almost never use the guns. We're at this point, we kill zombies very quickly with melee weapons. I'm not taking the time to take every stupid bullet out of every stupid gun, because then I also have to pick it up, and then half the time it's too heavy to put on a body, and I've already got like 6 of them and all that kind of stuff. It's like, you know, this isn't worth 5 bullets. It's just not to me. And I realize 5 bullets is effectively 20 zombie kills, assuming, you know, good damage hits. Still. At the speed we're getting to the point of one-shotting things, genuinely I might be able to get 20 zombie kills in the time it would take me to pick up the shotgun, remove the bullets, rack the gun, and then find a body to put it on. Probably should pull the car up, honestly. Give us a chance to recover a little bit of our stamina in the driver's seat. I'm pretty close to ready to be sleepy, so what I should do is find one of these houses that doesn't have the door smashed down. You know, make it a place to sleep for the night. And then there's one back here. We'll kill those 2. Then from here we can push into that back corner of Riverside. Alright, let's check this house. Alright, we'll give that a moment to shake out. We banged on the door a little bit. So kill these two. Circle back. See if any zombies come out. Or start banging on doors or windows or whatever. And I'm pretty sure I've already checked this car if I remember correctly. Yep, trunk's already open, so we've already checked it. We just decided not to do anything with it because I'm guessing there's a bunch of zombies, because I see a bunch of zombies closing in from that house that's banging the doors on. Okay, let's pull it into this driveway real fast, shut everything off. Yeah, I can probably do that. Honestly, it's not a bad idea for me to do that once we're, like 9 more tonight, because our character's getting pretty much on the edge of being drowsy. Like, any second we're going to be drowsy. But, first thing when we wake up in the morning, that's not a bad idea. I don't know how we haven't had a house alarm yet. I hate these layout. I say hate this layout of house because you can't watch your sides. And also the back door is completely gone. New house. I don't want to do the thing where I wake up in the morning. I gotta worry about zombies directly outside my room. We've done that enough this playthrough. I have standards now. Well, not that house. That house is not a winner. What about the other side of the road? How are you doing? Back away from the house. You didn't aggro, so that's fine. I'll say one creep around from out back. After Riverside, we're probably looking at Rosewood. Okay, Rockbeard, do you sleep well? I'm not gonna bother with the canned food or dog food. Alright, we've basically gone to the house. Not, well, actually, to take that back, we have this room. And I mostly did that to kill time. Let's see. Rosewood is my favorite, but since I always want to do more nomadic playthrough, I always start in Rosewood and then stay there too long. Yeah, it's easy to fall into that trap. Like, and that's the reasons why I do recommend a lot of people, once they've played enough that they get comfortable with the game, consider getting Pillow's random spawn mod, because it'll dump you in cities where you don't know where you are, and it does kind of force you to learn the map. Whereas if you just choose to spawn in like Rosewood, or for me it was Riverside, like you end up choosing that almost all the time. So for me, when I started, it's either I chose Riverside when I was going for like just kind of more casual playthrough, or I'd choose West Point if I was doing, you know, something I would refer to as like try hard, where I was doing something really difficult. Oh, I should fill up these water bottles. And I'm only sneaking because we're inside, we're sleepy, we're basically waiting for stuff. I don't want them busting in the windows or anything like that, because if they do that, then it's not a safe place to sleep anymore. So we're just being sneaky to avoid them tearing apart the house. But once we're outside, I don't sneak pretty much ever, hardly.